live there, they could stay in that room for 3 days a week. You have a question?
You said that the individual now has to pay for food, utilities, etc. out of their own pocket.
Correct.
Who pays?
What time is the United Way guy?
Living staff?
The live-in staff person is paid for by the budget.
Okay.
So the staffing is, the budget pays for staff. The other items are paid for by income, typically Social Security. It depends how much, based on the agency where your person is living, your individual is living, loved one is living, and that's all decided by the agency itself. And that's why we were taking a look at some of the other resources, like Maria from Enable, who was talking about I didn't know that they did DDD. I think it's a great perk. But the reason that I had actually asked Enable to come and speak was because I knew that they were DVRS. And I was trying to bring in resources that didn't require you using your DDD funds. Because sometimes, like with the TRA, your DDD funds are limited. So going to DVRS saves you the money that you need for your staffing. And by going for your food stamps, which Abby touched on, and all of the other, and the CHHA, if you can use a CHHA instead of a staff, by going to resources like that, you're going to maximize the way your budget works, because you can look beyond. If I'm going to go back to TRA, the $19,000. You can also look at the staffing that could be provided by the Medicaid HMO, by DVRS, who's going to help find you a job, and by those other resources too. And as well, what Attain and Gain was talking about was the staffing component, and that's what you want to do. Is you want to maximize your dollars for your staffing.
You know Anthony's situation, so he requires a lot of services, but and you also know that our success at the agency level has not been great. If we were to take this option of independent living, who would we go to get staffing, especially behavioral staffing, behaviorists, to plan together one and to find those people and to manage them? Because as parents, that's
Oh, absolutely.
do they exist?
Well, I think an example, I hate to keep on beating the Attain and Gain horse, but I think an example is Attain and Gain. They can provide that staffing component where there's a behavioral staffing, where there'll be the staffing the live-in staff person. So there are agencies out there that can potentially do that. Does it require, now just keep in mind, there's always good and bad when we break those walls down. So this is a little bit of the bad part. You, as the family member, have more responsibility in making sure that that house, wherever the two-bedroom house is, the two-bedroom apartment is being managed correctly. So the staff agency, if someone calls out sick, the staff agency should be able to find a replacement. But at one point, if you're not happy with the staff agency and you want to make a change, that's something that the family would do. And that's something that you really need to consider. The family, unlicensed, in your situations, unlicensed means more work for somebody. Someone's going to be taking over that work that's not going to be done by an agency necessarily. It's going to be done either by the family member or by someone that's being paid for. And we talked about Plan New Jersey, and we talked about ARC of Bergen and Passaic, and people like Abby Greenberg, who you heard speak. That's who you're going to be paying in order to make sure that your wishes and your desires for your loved one are met. I got 2 minutes. Any other questions? No, I don't need 2 minutes. Guys, I want to thank everyone for coming. I think this was amazing, and I really appreciate you coming down on a Sunday. I want to very much and especially thank the Home Away from Home for housing, for staffing this, and for lunch, and for Uber and everything else that they do. I want to thank any support coordinators from Infinity today that have joined us: Barbara Burbridge, Kay Yoon, Jen Marino, who's was supervisor, and we have Vivian right there in the back, Vivian Lieras. Again, we're not really here as support coordinators. We're here. We're here as supporters and advocates for you. And if you do have any needs that Infinity tomorrow could help you with, please give me a call, and all of my information is up front. I'm sorry it all says Infinity today. We don't use any money for anything at Infinity tomorrow except for the services, so we don't have any like documents or anything. Yes, Emily.
I just want to say, really, I think on behalf of all of us, I've been to a lot of meetings in my day. And this, I found out about late, but it sounded so interesting, I wanted to come. And it was worth coming, and thank you, because we don't get any information from anywhere. So this was done so beautifully.
Thank you. No, thank you. That means a lot. By the way, if anybody has dog walking needs, Emily Feldman's son, Scott Feldman, has a business in Fairlawn. He's also a DDD recipient, and he will walk your dogs, dog walking by Scott. He'll also pick up duty.
Almost everyone knows someone with special needs. In fact, there are 50,000 of us in New Jersey. Some have intellectual disabilities, some have Down syndrome, or multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy, or are on the autism spectrum. What you may not know is that more than 8,000 of us are on New Jersey's waiting list for housing. That's why Bergen County's United Way and their partner, the Madeline Corporation, started building very special homes. Their award-winning special needs housing fulfills the dream of living fuller, more independent lives of dignity and self-reliance for individuals like me, or Julie, or Anthony, Michael, or Stacy, or Diana, or Katie. If you ask, we'll tell you honestly and proudly, at first the change was hard, but now it's the new normal. We've proven to ourselves, our families, and anyone else who may have had their doubts that we can do anything we set our minds to. We love being home, and it's truly a home of our own. It's the place where we formed a supportive community among ourselves, the place where we've become part of our larger community, fulfilling our life's goals just as everyone else does, having responsibility, opportunity, choice, happiness, equality, and so much more. The United Way's very special homes isn't housing for strangers. We are your customers, your brothers and sisters, your sons and daughters, the children of your next door neighbor, your co-workers, your community volunteers, or as youngsters, the kids on your T-ball team. Yes, almost everyone knows someone with special needs.
Patrick and Tom from United Way. I have a whole introduction. I don't think they need it. This one?
Hello, everyone. Before we start, I'd really like to say that our tenants in our independent living, which this was, are not required to blow the leaves, nor are they required to wash the outsides of the windows. They just happen to do it.
Can everyone hear me? Tony, Wayne, can you hear me okay? I hate to use the mic.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom Toronto. My partner in crime is Patrick Chieffe. I think many of you, or we're familiar or over-familiar to many of you, especially if you're getting our propaganda with some regularity. And by the way, by show of hands, who's getting emails from us, if you would? Okay. So if you're not getting emails from us, and you may not want to, but if you want to know about our housing availability, you want to be in our database. It's not a waiting list, it's a database of names of parents, individuals, parents, guardians, and individuals who seek housing. So I'm going to suggest that if you're not in our database, then you either send Patrick or myself an email. I've spread some cards on the back table, and Patrick also has cards. And you can also go to our website, which is www.bergenunitedway.org, and just to get in our database. And then what we'll do is we'll periodically send out updates about what we're building, where we're building it, and most importantly, when an application is available for a particular project. So that's important if you're interested in housing. Maybe not currently, but at some point in the future, I would strongly encourage you to get in our database. And then the price of that is to periodically get some propaganda from us that you may or may not want to view, but I think it's a useful place to go. So we build affordable housing, increasing the supply of homes that people can afford. And when it comes to supportive housing, and we build senior housing, we build family housing, we build mixes of market housing and affordable housing. But our passion, I would say, Sherry DePalma, my partner, myself, Patrick, our passion is supportive housing, and supportive housing for folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities. That's what we really love to do. That video gave you a sense, I think, about why we feel like we do about that. It's really thrilling to see people thrive and flourish living independently. So within supportive housing, we build two types. I guess actually three types now that I think about it. We build independent living, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments in small apartment complexes for folks who can live with some, maybe need some support, but that level of support doesn't reach 24/7 care, nor are they necessarily on the CCP, the Community Care Program, formerly the Community Care Waiver. The artist formerly known as Prince, right? I can't keep track. And then we do 24/7